Well, hi, and thanks for joining me here in my shop for another day of goofing around with this radio. I've got a few more ideas in my head since yesterday. I had lots of fun yesterday on the last video. This one should get a little more meaningful as I correct a few things and check a few things more, and hopefully get this radio to work fairly well with an external local oscillator. That's what I'm trying to do. Why am I doing this? Because it forces me into zones I've never been in before with anything, and I'm bound to learn a bunch of stuff, and that's how I like to learn things, and that's why I'm doing it this way. So first of all, I made a big assumption yesterday when I was working on this, and that was that this radio essentially works other than the missing local oscillator. I don't know that. I don't know that this radio really works well at all. So that's the first thing we're going to find out. And since I already know the front end of the radio is not working, it's got no local oscillator to work with, then the real issue is, what about the middle and the audio part of the radio? That would be the IF circuits and the audio. I'm pretty sure they work. I think I heard a little bit come out of the speaker at one point. But I'm going to test them properly by feeding in an IF signal into the IF. We'll hear what comes out, then we'll know for sure if that part of the radio works. We'll also be able to judge how well it's working, and I can even fiddle with the IF transformer tuning a little bit at that point just to make sure. That's one thing. Secondly, I should probably swap my signal generators around. I kind of quickly settled on using this one to replace the local oscillator. That's a bit of a mistake. This signal generator has a way of modulating its signal, like most signal generators. The other one I have in here that I'm using is a sweep generator here. This one has no way to modulate it. There probably is a way to modulate the signal somewhere in there, but normally no, there's no modulation in this at all. So this is better to replace the local oscillator, and the other one is better to imitate a radio station. So I'm going to swap them around and see what happens there. And whatever else it is that I'm going to stop for a minute and read the comments on the last video, just in case there's some powerful hints in there I should avail myself of before I go any further. So let's get busy and get something happening here. What I wanted to do, let's just take this stuff off here for now. What I wanted to do was feed a 465 wasn't it 465 kilohertz signal into this radio. And just one sec here. Let me just make a quick double check of the 465 kilohertz. Okay, so we'll set this to 465. Oh, bingo! 465. Now we need to stick it into the radio right at the front of the IF, which would be output of the mixer tube. So I'm just glancing at the schematic here. Plate of the mixer tube, if I dare to go on it. Plate of the mixer tube, or grid, right in off the antenna. I can do this right in off the antenna lead. It doesn't matter that there isn't a local oscillator, so we will use this one. Just pump it right in the antenna lead and chassis. Should do the trick. Maybe I'll use this wire here. Signal's fairly low. Volume down. Switch on. So I was watching a TV just before I came in here, as I usually do while I'm eating my breakfast, and I was watching Mayday, a program about airplane crashes. They have a scene where they're examining the equipment that's come out of a crashed airplane, the electronic equipment, and they're wondering if there's a problem. And they have a piece of equipment, it doesn't quite look like this, but it's an older piece of equipment. Who knows if it's even from an airplane, right? It's a TV show. So I have a piece of equipment, and you can see the upper part of it, and there's a bunch of parts that I could recognize, including transistors, fairly large ones, plugged into sockets. And the camera angle is just perfect. That right in the middle of the shot is a transistor that's been knocked out of its socket, and one lead is sticking out. And the comment from the actor as they look at it is, "Nope, nothing wrong here." And it made me think of all the people who watch my videos and hear me say something that doesn't match with what they're seeing. Okay. Well, that's pretty darn quiet there. So I have no modulation on here. Okay, I do now. Total silence. Total silence. Well, we'll give it a little more. Okay, I can hear it now. Yeah. Give it a little more. Sounds like it's very quick to overload something. And I'm not sure if that's coming across on the microphone very well or not, but sounds good like this. We should be able to double check the IF. Just listening to the volume of the sound, I'll swing the frequency around here. .475. I did this already, didn't I? I did this. I discovered it earlier. So worth adjusting it now. Why would I bother adjusting it now? To see that it's lined up. Maybe it's not lined up. It could be lined up on 475, or it could just be a mess adding up to 475. Let me just move this a little bit here. Now, just doing this by ear is not good at all. I'm probably going to have to put a meter on this. Oh yeah, this is out of whack. Okay, so it's alignment time on the IF. So we're going to want to put on a meter here. So this black wire that I've got a ground on is going to the chassis. There. You know, even when you watch reality TV, you're watching scripted stuff in most cases. I'm sure there's lots of, God, we gotta do that again. Let's do that again, okay? It didn't come out right. I'm sure there's a lot of that going on in reality TV. So when you watch my channel, you are seeing the reality of what happens to me anyway when I work in this shop here. Real reality TV. Where'd that volume control go? Okay. So I'm looking for. Oh, that's quite a mess of wire in there. Huh. So I think this is the top here. Okay, you can't quite see it, but my meter went backwards. Perfect. So I'm going to clip this on here. So definitely some strange stuff in there. Kind of on there. Some negative. Okay, we're watching this meter. It's on the 50 volt scale. We're already getting 5 volts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing the signal generator around, and we'll watch. Well, yeah, it's just another indication of a very, very poorly aligned IF. Okay, so we'll try aligning it. We'll do it. We'll try to aim for 465. That's where my frequency counter is right now, and where it's supposed to be. So let's just wing at it here and see what happens. Oh, okay. So the radio just broke into oscillation. A lot of serious problems here doing this. What is with the capacitor in this? My screwdriver's camming out of it all the time. So one of the things about the radio, when you get it really tuned up well, it becomes sensitive to itself and can self-oscillate. It can pick up its own signals where it shouldn't. One IF can pass a signal back to the other IF, come around again, and all this kind of stuff. This radio's got to be one of the worst for that, I would think. So one way to avoid that is to have the radio not operating at peak resonance. Actually detune it, actually weaken it. And see if I can just fix this a little more steady here. But that's a little better. Still not very good, but better. Oh my gosh. What has happened to this? This is just cranked down like as tight as it could go. Let's see what's going on here. Crank down as tight as it'll go. Wow. Okay, so I think somebody screwdrivered this radio. Just went at it with. Yeah, I don't think that's very good. We're gonna have to take a more careful approach to this. I'm gonna have to do them one at a time. I can't do them both with them both this whacked out. Wow. It's like the worst radio I've ever come across. So, okay, so I can feed the signal into the grid of the 78, and then the signal will just pass through the second IF, which I think is this one. Just make sure the volume's not too high here. Okay, with kind of expect to hear that coming out of the speaker. Nothing. What is not so right here? Maybe this didn't really make a connection. Need more. There's not a lot more over here. That's a pretty hefty signal into the grid of this tube now. That IF transformer be that far out? Nothing is getting through it at all? Wow, okay, so this is just something is not right here. Let me turn this down. Just one whopper of a signal there. Did that ABC meter do anything when I did any of this? Okay, tuning around a bit. No. Oh, look at that. That's at 500 hertz. This is interesting in itself. There's a few other spots where stuff sneaks through. I'm just turning the signal generator way up now. Way down actually, 300. Okay. Let's go back to... So that first little bump is at 510. Another little bump there at 600. I don't know. It's supposed to be way down here, right around in here. So a little thing happening there. 500. Instead of 465, it looks like it's up at 500. This is bad. This is really bad. Okay, so I'll put the signal generator back to 465. I'm gonna crank on the screws and see what happens. Let's get the lighting right in here. Camera's not cooperating so much. That's good. That's good. Okay. And where is the volume? Is it turned up? Okay, I can hear it. Barely. I can hear it with the volume way up. We're aiming for 465. Here we go. So that cranked this capacitor down tight to get that to happen. Wow, it's okay. I'll do the other part. The other half. I wonder if this is a false resonant point. Sometimes these things have more than one resonant point. I don't think it's possible with a capacitor trimmer though. Cranking it down tight here. Not tight. There's a peak there. Okay, so I got that one peaking. Let's go back to the first side. Oh my gosh, man, that's just any tighter, something's gonna break, I think. Wow, 465. Maybe that's why this guy was tuned up at 475. 465 was just too much. Let's try this one again. At least there's a peak in this one. Okie dokie. Now we'll move back to the antenna. course, that should be much stronger, not weaker. Cut back the input. Definitely some sound of overloading there. You can hear all the harmonics coming in. Okay, let's get this guy tuned up. Okay, so this is when it's just cranked right down tight. Oh my gosh, it's lost. There's a peak there. Right about there. This one's not bad. Yep. So it's right at the end of its run there, but there is a peak. Right there. Okay. Just go back to the first one. Shame on us, and we'll touch it up a bit. Or see what happens anyway. Second one, actually. This is the second, not yet. No, it's fine. Oh boy. That's as good as it's going to get. We got it to 465. Anyway, that's good. That's going to help in the end. Having that where it's supposed to be. Now, I'll stop for a sec. There's no reason to stop. Don't stop. Just keep going. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this on the antenna. I'm going to move it up to a regular radio frequency, maybe. Let's try, my old favorite 1 million. Okay, so that's putting out a 1 million hertz signal with 30% 1000 hertz modulation on it. And we'll take this guy. This guy is now going to be the guy whose job it is to supply the fake local oscillator. Turn this radio up. Don't hear a thing, but really the antenna's got nothing on it. So we will turn it back down. I gotta get this other signal generator set up first before we do this. If I wanted at for 1 million, it would be 1465. So 1465. 1465. Oh. $14.65. Bingo. So with this as the IF signal going in, we should get, well, we should receive that. That's the whole idea. Once again, too many thoughts going through my head simultaneously here. Output is very low. Volume is gone. Let's turn it up a bit. Connect. Volume rate up. This radio has to be tuned to 1 million for this to work. It was roughly anyway, based on the dial. Nothing coming through. So we have a strong signal on the antenna. Probably a very, very weak local oscillator. Let's oh yeah, totally. It's a non-existent local oscillator. Okay, pump it up. I hear it. I can hear something. Let's go a little higher. Good. Okay, just enough to hear it. Where's the volume? The volume's full on the radio. Well, you know, the front end could be all out of whack too, for all I know. And maybe the antenna signal's not coming through as strong as we might want. So I'll boost it up a little bit here, actually quite a bit. Tune the radio a bit. Other than sounding like crap, seems to be working. What I'm going to do is substitute the fake radio station here with a real one. Let's see if we can tune it in. So we're going to try to tune in 590 at 465. Here we go, 1365, 600, 1065, 1055 is where I want this set. 1055. Okay, 1055 on the local oscillator. This radio is trying to receive 590. It's not tuned, the front end's not tuned to 590, but let's leave it like that. Put the antenna on now. Take off the signal generator. Put on the antenna. I have to run and throw a switch. Well, let's try this. Maybe there's enough antenna here to do it. Tune this to 590 on the dial, and we should hear it. I'm going to attach the ground from the antenna. It's a little quieter. Hunt for 590. So I have to run. I have to run through my house and throw a switch and come back in 12.5 seconds. A little more antenna on here now. Okay, let's move the local oscillator around a little bit. There's a hill of beans difference here. Maybe not enough local oscillator. So there's not a strong output from here. So I've now got it on full blast. I'm starting to hear something a little more in the radio. Let's tune it a bit. Aha.
Heroin addict. A lot of the drugs that we legalize on the state are used by people in the medical system. But if someone's using drugs and having problems, in theory, what we should want to do is help those people. That we want them to be able to be successful. And, sending someone to jail is not going to solve their problems, which is what you just said. So as an expert in the field, I've got to ask you the question. Would you be on the side of...
Tuning the radio.
Is look at culture as opposed to a criminal justice culture? Well, I'll say that I would be on board with drug decriminalization, but I probably would not be on board with Buttigieg's version, and that's because I'm concerned that
it's American news. I wonder what station I've got here.
These are incredibly profitable products, and if you want to be able to have them available safely, you're going to need to do two things. Number one, you're going to need to be willing to have pretty intense regulation of that economy. This is not going to be a free...
Well, let me swing the external oscillator further and see if we can pick some other stuff up. So on the dial, this is 680. 680. So 680 plus, whoops, 680 plus 465, 1145.
There's a lot of different ways you can decriminalize drugs. The way that I would do it is probably not the way that a guy like Buttigieg, who's a little bit, I guess...
1145. I got 1105.
Standing up those public sector responsibilities would want to do. Well, you've made a point that even as a layperson compared to you, I can...
Doesn't sound like 680 though. It sounds like 640. So if it were 640, it'd be 40 less. It would be this. So we're listening to 640. 640 on the dial. It's just a little bit off. Could be off because the pointer has been moved. The pointer may not be in its correct position. Sure looks like it is though. That's 640, you should get 590, 50 below. 1055 on here. $590. Okay, finally. $590. It's pretty close. $590 would be like that. So the dial's not lining up exactly right. We got a number of options to move it around, to force it into where you want it. Like you can detune the IF, move the IF resonance frequency, you know, a couple of kilohertz or 10 kilohertz or something, you end up moving the dial the same amount roughly. So stuff like that can be done. So at this point, what I'm really trying to find out is, does this radio work? Yes, it does. Is it worth trying to do something about that coil? It's still a big question, because although I've been fairly successful at making it work with all this stuff hooked up to it, can I just slap something in there and make this work? That'd be my next question. Yes, I can go buy one of these, you know, but one of my goals in life is to not spend any money on anything. That's really true. And so everything you see here in my shop, it's all come to me with very little money over a long period of time. That's really what's gone on. I only purchased a few things here brand new, like this guy. I bought this guy brand new, but not much else. So same thing with this. Still kind of, you know, we could take a look at, let's take a closer look at this. Maybe I can make something of this. It's definitely badly damaged though. I mean, you will see in a moment. Let me just put the close-up camera on it over here. Just take a look at it. Is this repairable? Oh, I don't think so. Or I would have tried a long time ago, I think. Let's see what we got here. Well, you can see there's got to be 20 strands of wires cut through there. Now you can also see the winding, how it's crisscrossing back here. So that's not by accident, that's done very much on purpose. You're trying to reduce the amount of time the wires are in parallel by getting them to go across each other like this. Now, is there a primary and a secondary, and I've destroyed one of the two of them, but the other one's still there. Got a funny crack on the wax here, all the way through here. Primary was good, I stand a chance of wrecking it, or one of the coils was good, I stand a chance of wrecking it just by poking around more. There's a big brass screw on the bottom. Could be, if that's brass, I think it's essentially non-magnetic, so it wouldn't. So it would just be a way of mounting this thing. It's a pretty hefty-duty screw, though. Don't know what they're doing with that. Let's put the ohm meter on it. See what we can find out with that. Thermal gun in here. There's 1, 2, 3 terminals. One of these must be shared. We'll take a wild guess. It's the one all by itself over here that's shared between the two coils. 20,000 ohms. What have you got to tell us? Zero. I guess I should have been saying infinity before, not zero. 200 ohm scale shows a 0. there has to be something between these two. Oh, I'm getting a. How did that happen? Three sounds really good to me. How did I have the 0 there before? Well, 3 sounds like something's there. One of the two. And do I remember right? On the schematic they give the resistance of these coils? I think they do. Let's take a look. So the coil I'm holding is this one. And sure enough, look, 8 ohms and 4 ohms. And I'm measuring right now 2 ohms. Doesn't seem stable. 2 ohm and 8 ohm. Well, that sounds like a 1 to 2 transformer. There's no other information on it, is there? Resistor coils. Oscillator coil assembly. T2. Just a part number. No further information on it. Other than I can look at it. I don't think it's Litz wire anyway. Can I wind something up? I don't know. Have I got something I can stick in there? Is there fooling around with? Have I got something? You know what? I might have something. I'm going to look around and see if I can just find something, anything, stick in there.